Daolang retired twice, not because of chickens and donkeys. The protagonist of today's story is a singer. He is legendary and mysterious. He is Daolang. In 2004, Daolang was in a mess. It can almost be said that everyone knows, anyone knows. However, he retired a second time. Disappeared for many years. Jiang who disappeared. But there are still legends about him in the rivers and lakes. Indeed, Daolang retired not once, but twice. The first retirement occurred in 2005, at the pinnacle of his career. It was during the year when his song The First Snow in 2002 gained immense popularity, sweeping across the country like a storm. Its overwhelming success was unmatched by few at the time. However, Daolang made a courageous decision to step back. He declined all interview and performance invitations, deliberately withdrawing from the public eye. For 5 years, he remained hidden, until he resurfaced in the rivers and lakes of the Chinese music scene with his new works. Unfortunately, Daolang's return did not yield the success he had hoped for. In 2010, during the Grand Music Billboard 10-year celebration event, Naing, the esteemed figure in the Chinese music industry, served as the chairwoman of the judging panel. The selection criteria were clear. The 10 most influential singers from 2000 to 2010 would be chosen. Daolang unquestionably dominated in terms of song popularity, and his album sales ranked him as the undisputed #1. All the judges agreed that Daolang deserved a spot on the list. However, Naing vehemently opposed the decision. She stated, "I acknowledge that Daolang's album sales are impressive, but we cannot solely focus on sales. He lacks aesthetics, musicality, and artistic sensibility." As the chairwoman, Naing removed Daolang from the list. There were even reports that she publicly commented, "Only peasants order Daolang songs in KTV." Ironically, a few years later, Wang Jianlin, the former richest man in China and president of Wanda, presented a song at an event, Daolang's Love Song of the West Sea. It remains uncertain how Naing felt upon witnessing this endorsement of the singer she had dismissed as a scumbag. However, that is a story for another time. In short, Daolang's comeback faced numerous obstacles. He did not participate in variety shows nor appear on The Voice of China. After a national tour in 2012, Daolang retired for the second time. He rarely made public appearances afterward, seemingly disappearing from the rivers and lakes of the music industry. Nevertheless, criticism and controversies surrounding Daolang persisted. The reasons for Daolang's retirements remain subject to speculation. Was he pushed out by established figures in the industry, or were there other hidden factors at play? To unravel the mystery of Daolang, one must delve into his character. Born in Sichuan in the 1970s, Daolang possessed unique traits. He harbored a dislike for reading and dropped out of school at an early age. One morning, when he was 16, while his parents were still fast asleep, Daolang quietly departed. With $500 in his pocket, he packed his belongings and left a letter for his parents, stating, "I am pursuing my musical dream. If it doesn't work out, I will never return." Daolang idolized John Lennon, the renowned rock and folk singer, who was known for his idealistic nature. In this regard, Daolang surpassed even Lennon. After leaving home, he formed a band and spent 8 years performing in bars across the country. While it is common for singers to support themselves through their performances, Daolang experienced internal conflicts. He believed that art was sacred and should not be reduced to a mere means of earning a living. Singing was only a part-time job for him. However, lacking other skills to sustain himself, he took on rough work as his main business. Once, his boss asked him in curiosity, "If you work for me, you can earn 1,000 a month. How many times can you earn that by singing in bars? What are your plans?" Daolang's response left the boss speechless. "I don't want to rely on music to support myself. I want to make money independently to support my music." Before gaining fame, Daolang would write songs and compose music for others. When it came time to collect payment, he became increasingly conflicted. Should I take the initiative to ask for money? How embarrassing! He believed that art should not be tainted by money and that creativity should not be bound by personal interests. This almost paranoid aversion to money repeatedly hindered his singing career. As a result, he faced financial hardships. In 1991, Daolang became a father. He had a daughter with his first wife. The realities of life began to weigh heavily on him, leaving him stretched thin and flustered. Unexpectedly, just 40 days after their daughter's birth, his wife left home. Shortly after, she filed for divorce, explaining to Daolang, "I'm sorry, you cannot provide the life I desire." The challenges Daolang faced in his personal life and his uncompromising principles regarding art and money shed light on the complexities behind his mysterious journey. Those years were the most desolate for Daolang, marked by the disbandment of his band and abandonment by his ex-wife. The future seemed uncertain. However, at the turn of the 20th century, Daolang sought solace in Xinjiang, where he experienced two transformative moments. The first transformation occurred inwardly. One late night in 2003, Daolang returned home after performing in a bar. The moonlight illuminated his path, and as he approached the door of his small rental house, he hesitated. Stepping back, he surveyed his surroundings, a cramped space of less than 10 square meters, housing 5 people, his parents, 2 daughters, and his second wife. Overwhelmed by the dilapidated state of the house, Daolang couldn't help but feel a deep sadness. He slumped to the ground, tears streaming down his face, pondering one thought repeatedly: have I been too selfish in pursuing my ideals? That night became a turning point for Daolang. His inner turmoil unraveled, and he made a firm decision to change. 3 months later, he released the love song of the West Sea. While it didn't become a massive hit, it caused a significant stir in Xinjiang. It marked the beginning of Daolang's counterattack. In 2004, he released the song The First Snow in 2002, and Daolang's career skyrocketed. His popularity was unprecedented, with genuine album sales reaching 2.7 million copies. To put this into perspective, during their peak periods, renowned artists like Lu Huan and Andy Lau never exceeded 300,000 copies in total sales, and even Jay Chou didn't surpass 1 million copies. Daolang's songs captivated the nation like few others, and his success set a benchmark that would be difficult for others to reach in the future. Opinions differ on why Daolang's songs became popular, but there are distinct perspectives. Some believe that his songs possess a unique beauty, simple, honest, and devoid of embellishments. They express emotions in a straightforward manner, allowing ordinary people to sing them effortlessly, without wearing a mask. Others argue that Daolang's popularity stems from the depth of soul in his songs. He sings from the core of his being, presenting his true self to the world. One winter evening in 2002, as Daolang was leaving work, he encountered a scene that deeply affected him. Pushing open the door, he was greeted by a blanket of snow. Across from his company stood the 8th floor, and below it was the number 2 bus stop. A girl standing by the road whispered with profound emotion, "This is the first snow in 2002. The weight of the snow settled in Daolang's heart. He rushed back to the studio, capturing his thoughts and emotions in that very moment. The first snow in 2002 arrived later than before. The authenticity of his feelings resonated deeply, and this song became his pinnacle. However, despite reaching such heights, Daolang still carried regrets. One of them revolved around his own brother. During their teenage years, his brother had a girlfriend, but rumors circulated that they were both flirtatious and lacked self-respect. Anger surged within Daolang. As soon as he arrived home, he accused his brother of wearing a green hat, a symbol of infidelity. The confrontation escalated into a physical fight, only to be separated by their mother, who scolded the elder brother. In a fit of anger, the brother left the house and never returned. Tragically, a week later, Daolang received the devastating news of his brother's death in a car accident. Over the next 20 years, he carried an immense burden of guilt, believing that he was responsible for his brother's demise. This guilt, as deep as the sea, found solace in his music. He penned a song dedicated to his brother, titled Children of Life and Death. During an interview, a host once asked Daolang if his songs were reflections of his emotional experiences. Daolang nodded and replied, "Yes, not 100%, but 80%. He poured his pain, regret, and hope into his songs, which resonated with countless individuals. The power of his singing spread far and touched the hearts of many." Following the success of The First Snow in 2002, Daolang released several new hits, including Lover and Punishment of Impulse. Fame and fortune accompanied his rise, with rumors circulating that his appearance fee reached a staggering $1 million. It seemed logical that Daolang would continue to ascend and establish himself firmly in the entertainment industry. However, at the peak of his career, Daolang made a sudden and unexpected decision to retire. He disappeared like a refugee, leaving no trace behind. Even his agent struggled to contact him for several months. Years later, Daolang explained his behavior, stating, "I felt overwhelmed and just wanted to settle down and focus on writing something meaningful." Daolang remained true to himself, always embodying innocence and passion, never forgetting his original intent. While fame and fortune held their allure, his idealism would ultimately prevail once he had earned enough money. He retired in 2005, but returned in 2010 after a 5-year period of silence. In those 5 years, the entertainment industry underwent significant changes, making it challenging for Daolang to regain his previous level of success. He released a new album titled Thank You, which sold a respectable 400,000 copies. However, compared to his peak, Daolang's achievements fell short. This realization left him desperate. Undeterred, Daolang continued to release new songs and embarked on a non-stop national tour. In 2011, he held a concert at the Hong Kong Coliseum, where every seat was filled. The legendary Alan Tam even joined him on stage, offering praise for Daolang's new work. However, on the other side of the spectrum, Daolang faced criticism, particularly from Na Ing and Wang Feng. Wang Feng argued that Daolang's success was solely due to media hype, suggesting that without it, he would not have attained his current false prosperity. Yan Cohen was even more ruthless, questioning whether Daolang possessed true musical talent. During this time, Daolang's songs garnered mixed reviews and reputation. Gao Xiaosong provided an interpretation of this peculiar phenomenon, attributing it to the failure of the scholar-bureaucrat class. He referred to individuals who held the power of discourse within the music world. According to Gao Xiaosong, these scholar-bureaucrats would exclude individuals without formal music education and attempt to shape the public's aesthetic sensibilities through sophisticated production. By doing so, they maintained control over the right to speak. Unexpectedly, Daolang didn't conform to their rules. He achieved success without awards, professional training, or recognition from industry experts. Even Even his street performances resonated with audiences. The scholar bureaucrats couldn't tolerate this deviation and voiced their objections. Daolang faced numerous criticisms from the outside world, and the scholar bureaucrats placed numerous obstacles in his path. He always remained like an outsider, never seeking approval or trying to please others simply because they held the power of discourse. In 2012, during the final concert of his national tour, Daolang chose to perform the song Thank You, a heartfelt tribute to his fans. The lyrics expressed gratitude for allowing him to find himself in the ordinary world, emphasizing that he would remain beautiful regardless of the presence of sunshine. As Daolang sang, tears flowed down his face. Although Daolang didn't officially announce his retirement, he became a rare sight on the Chinese music scene. Some speculate that his retirement was influenced by the resistance he faced from the scholar bureaucrats. While it's difficult to draw definitive conclusions, several interviews provide insight into his mindset. In 2011, after the Nine incident, Daolang was interviewed by CCTV, where he expressed his preference for honesty and authenticity, stating that lying was challenging for him. He wanted to follow a national style that could be sung at any time, rather than being worshipped in grand halls. During a concert, Daolang openly declared that he was a simple, pure, persistent, and music-loving person. He expressed his desire to distance himself from the business-oriented music and entertainment industry. While the world may have ridiculed him for being too unconventional, he laughed at others for their inability to see beyond superficialities. While everyone else pushed forward, Daolang chose to retreat, stepping behind the scenes to train new talent, write lyrics for others, and explore Buddhist music. Occasionally, he would participate in commercial performances alongside his apprentice, Yun Duo. And during his free time, he would even come out to have drinks and chat with his fans. Over the years, Daolang continued to release new songs, seemingly unaffected by the mediocre response. Last year, details about Daolang's current situation emerged. Despite being over 50 years old and a bit heavier, he remained healthy. When fans asked when he would return, Daolang responded calmly, stating that he would wait until the epidemic was over and that he had quit drinking and planned to start working out. Life has its ups and downs, and Daolang's serene and contented life brings to mind a quote he once shared. In 2010, during a joint appearance with his apprentice Yun Duo on a CCTV program, when asked what message he wanted to send to Yun Duo, Daolang pondered for a moment and replied, "I don't want music to be everything in your life. Regardless of whether your music is good or bad, successful or lost, I hope you can live each day happily." Whether these words touched Yun Duo's heart remains unknown. In any case, Daolang achieved it. His time on the stage has ended, and life goes on. This idealistic young man, who was once a bit uncertain, has finally found complete reconciliation within himself. He remains indifferent to the disputes of fame and fortune, living well and loving well.